Christmas, for some, is a religious observation, a holy time to reflect on the birth of Christ. For others, it's a time to spend with family and friends in feasting and merriment. Some people use the season as an opportunity to focus on others, sharing and caring for those less fortunate. And for many, it is a mixture of all the above. Whatever your reason, we here at the GIS wish all of Jamaica the best for the holidays. Come now, we have a joyous show planned just for you.
Christmas is a period for giving, but you'd agree this should be a year-round thing. If you're on board, here are 5 things to consider for your gift-giving rounds this Christmas. 1. Reach out to people or organizations that usually donate hot meals to the poor. This will help to space out supplies so that it reaches those on the receiving end in a more effective manner and ensure they're not bombarded with food that will go bad soon. 2. Meals are good, but also consider giving longer-lasting and needed items such as hygiene products, clothes, and books and toys for the little ones. 3. Consider opening your home for a little one for the season. We have boys and girls in state care who would love the chance at a loving and stable home, even if it's just for the holiday period. You will be doing them and yourself a favor. 4. Instead of giving something, try volunteering your time to the old and the vulnerable. Spend a day with them, talk to them, and listen. Offer to comb their hair or give them a needed pedicure. And finally, remember to love yourself. After all, if you don't have it for yourself, you sure do not have it to give to someone else. Happy gift giving.
In this week's Get the Facts, we hear from the Island Traffic Authority about what it is we can do to keep safe on our roadways, particularly this holiday season. Let's listen in.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the show that gives you information on the latest topics. We're now in the thick of the busy holiday period, and that brings with it, among other things, increased traffic on the roads. Manager of Corporate Communications and Public Relations, Dante Matthews from the Island Traffic Authority, is here with us to keep reminding the commuting public of how we may keep safe during the season. So, Mr. Matthews, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's jump right into it. This is silly season.
Yes.
What does that mean?
All right, so when we talk about the silly season, we're talking about our road users and their behavior on the road.
Yeah.
A lot of speeding, a lot of improper overtaking, pedestrians walking out into the road, everybody in that mixed traffic just going about their busy day, and you just find that a lot of chaos happens during that period.
Right, because it's holidays.
Everybody wants to go and get Christmas cake, buy up for the holidays,
right.
groceries, everything.
All right, so let's talk some statistics. Now, every year we release the number of road fatalities, and I know we hope that the commuters will take them seriously.
Yes.
So just tell us where we stand right now.
All right, so we're over 350 so far, and when we look at the analysis, when we look at the statistics, it's a 14% decline when we compare to last year this time.
Right.
So last year this time we were already over 400.
Wow.
So even though it's 14%, it's still too much because we would have lost fathers, mothers, daughters, sons, loved ones. So it's still, it's nothing to celebrate, right? We want everybody to have that shared responsibility in having a further reduction in road crashes.
Right, 14%. It could be down 70%. Could
Yes.
it not?
Yes. In fact, the UN Global Decade of Action, second decade of action, where we have a goal of 50% reduction by 2030, and that's what we're aiming towards. So right now we're at 14, but I think we can reach that amount once we put measures in place and everybody plays their part.
Measures in place, everybody plays their part. What are the most common risks during Christmas silly season, and how can we reduce those?
All right, so when it comes to the Christmas season, we recognize that a lot of persons tend to go to parties, right? Airports, because persons are flying out, persons are coming in. So you're going to the airport to pick up, or you're going to the airport to fly out.
Right.
And with that, some persons may leave their home late, so you find that they are speeding to the airport. Persons are going to the party, so you find that they are drinking, or they are looking to drink and then drive to go home. You find that persons are overtaking in an effort to get to their destination. So they leave home late, they're overtaking improperly. And those are some of the things that will contribute to crashes. Persons being distracted on the roadway. So you're trying to send a text message, but in sending that text message, your eyes are so affixed to the phone that you don't realize that the light is on red. A vehicle stopped in front of you abruptly, rolling and all of that. So these are some of the things that we face on the roadways. The pedestrians as well, walking out into the roadway, having the earphones in or the headset.
With noise cancelling enabled. With noise cancelling on your headphones enabled.
Exactly. Yeah. So they don't know if a truck is beeping, if a car is coming around the corner. They don't know anything until it is too late.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, there's one I think that people might not appreciate so much, but just the sheer exhaustion of the season. Right? You're still wrapping up work, you're tired, you're on
and you're trying to get so many things done. Children are home because school is out for the holiday.
Ouch.
You want to get them, maybe you're so tired so you don't intend to cook when you go home, so you want to stop and get some food for them. But in stopping to get food, you remember that the fridge needs this, so you're trying to get to the supermarket, and then you might have a meeting later, so you're trying to get all of these things done so you can go home to your meeting, and so many things are happening and you're tired. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because fatigue is also a contribution to road crashes, not just in Jamaica but across the world, right? Persons are tired, long hours. You have persons who work in Kingston but they actually live out of town.
Yeah.
So that's a major factor when we look at being safe on the roads.
Right. Now, for the next question I'm asking you, I'd love it if you could contextualize it in the framework of what we have to lose. Because what should we do then about our parties, about our airports, about our exhaustion? How should we approach, especially long distance commute? And what is it that people are risking losing?
All right, so for the party goers, because we know not just parties, but we know a lot of events are taking place in the festive season. Concerts, family gatherings, friendship link-ups. Road trips.
Yeah.
So we know that with these things coming on board, persons will want to have a drink. But nothing is wrong with having a drink. But when you have that drink, have somebody, designate somebody to drive. That's what we want to plead to the persons who will be drinking. Have a designated driver. That's what you must commit to doing this Christmas season. And a designated driver should commit to not drinking for that day or for that event. So if that person will be at the party with you or at the event or gathering, that person must commit to being sober, because he or she will have to drive you home and themselves home. Right? Also, that designated driver must set a certain schedule, a departure schedule, know when to leave, right? Ensure that the passengers that they'll be transporting are buckled in the vehicle. And when I say buckled, the front seat passenger and the back seat passengers as well. Everybody in the vehicle should be buckled. And you, the driver, should be buckled as well.
Give me something for the pedestrians.
For the pedestrians now, cross at safe places. And we have pedestrians who drink too and then attempt to walk home. So in that case, you need to get somebody to pick you up. Call a taxi, let somebody know where you're going, so that if they need to come and pick you up, they know where to find you. But for the general pedestrians, cross at safe places. We know that they will be going to grand markets, right? Busy streets. Ensure that you walk on sidewalks where sidewalks are provided. If there are no sidewalks, walk on the right side, facing the oncoming traffic. Yes.
We used to learn this in school, you know.
Oh yes, and we have an active public education program. So we discuss these things with the children and adults as well when we go to the event. So for the pedestrians, use safe places, cross at safe places, walk on the sidewalk if there is one. If there's not, walk on the right side. Cut out the distractions and put away your devices until you reach home. Not only for road safety in terms of not getting hit down, but public safety, being robbed, right? And we know when we talk about the silly season, we talk about persons wanting to do these illegal activities as well.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So you want to ensure that you're safe. So put away all the distractions.
And if I could just throw one on the pile, I've noticed this especially in busy town centers. Pedestrians try to beat the filter light.
Yes.
Cross on crosswalks when you shouldn't be
When you
crossing.
shouldn't.
So the traffic does sort of like and has to stop.
Yes. And
Yeah.
let me add to that. When you're crossing, right, at the safe places, wait until all vehicles come to a complete stop, not a rolling stop. A complete stop. Look, make eye contact with the drivers.
Okay.
If there's a pedestrian push button, you use the pedestrian
Use
push
it.
button.
Right.
But it doesn't mean you're going to press the button and start crossing. You wait
Fair.
until the signal is there. There are signals
Yeah.
where there's a push button for you to get across.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are going to a short break right now. We're talking about road safety during this holiday season and in general. So please stay with us. We'll be right back.
All children deserve positive parenting. Why not pamper us? Be patient with us. Make time to teach us and, of course, play with us. Celebrate milestones with us and don't forget to be our #1 supporter. Do all these things and practice positive parenting today.
Welcome back. We're talking with Mr. Dante Matthews, Manager of Corporate Communications and Public Relations at the Island Traffic Authority. Sir Matthews, just before the break, we're talking about the pedestrians. Usually when it's road safety, it's on the drivers, and we're not talking about the bike people, though, you know.
Yeah.
But pedestrians, let's finish up with pedestrians. Dark clothing.
All right. So pedestrians are being advised to ensure that at night you wear bright colored clothing or reflective clothing. When you wear black at night, you're blending in with the dark, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're walking on streets where there are no street lights or the place is not properly lit, you find yourself being exposed to getting hit down, whether by a bicycle, whether by a bike or by a car, because you're not being seen.
Yeah.
And so we don't encourage you to wear black at night. No, not even just black, but no dark colored clothing. Bright colors or reflective clothing at night. And in fact, pedestrians represent the second highest number of fatalities.
All right.
So motorcyclists are first, then pedestrians, then private motor vehicle drivers.
Motorcyclists are first.
Yes.
That does not sound surprising.
And we can understand a lot of what's happening when it comes to the motorcyclists. We're talking about not wearing their helmets, not wearing proper gear. So they're driving in slippers, they're driving in shorts, they're doing wheelies in the middle of the road.
Right.
They're turning without due care, all of that.
Riding on that
Riding
legendary third aisle.
Yes, creating their own lane splitting.
Right.
And just, well, in trying to have fun, because we have seen them having fun on the road doing their stunts, but in doing that they put their lives at risk and other person's lives at risk.
Yeah. And there's much to lose.
Yes, and the western part of the island have been seeing a lot of fatalities when it comes to motorcyclists. Over 100 motorcyclists have died already for this year.
Wow. So sensitization, the ITA.
All right, so we have an active public education. We have the schools, we have the companies, we have a lot of exhibitions. Just last month, we partnered with the National Council on Drug Abuse, because November was Drug Awareness Month, and you can see it ties in perfectly with the festive season. So we were at some parish pull-ups where we spoke with the patrons about drug abuse and the relationship between driving, right? So we encourage them not to drink and drive. So we had those interventions with the National Council on Drug Abuse, and we'll be continuing this month. So our partnership continues with them. Last month, we also partnered with the National Council for Senior Citizens, because what we realize is that a lot of our pedestrian fatalities are elderly people, over 60.
Right.
So we ramped up sensitization sessions with the elderly across most in Kingston and St. Andrew. We did some in Manchester, St. James, St. Anne, and the partnership continues. Of course, we have our social media where we'll be posting our tips, our short videos, advertisements, interviews like this. So we'll be all over, just targeting the different people.
Yeah.
The young people actually represent a lot of our fatalities, 20 to 29. So we know we have to utilize the channels that they use
Yeah,
use the
go where
most,
they are.
which is the digital space,
Right.
right? And so we have that coming up, and we're looking for other partnerships with other entities as well, the Transport Authority, the police. We'll be partnering with the police for spot checks, because we do road spot checks with the police as well. So our examiners will be out there with them, ensuring that vehicles are compliant, because the vehicles also play a part in road safety. If your vehicle is
Definitely.
not fit, if your vehicle has certain mechanical faults, those can also contribute to a crash.
Right, right. And in your sensitization across the island, you think people really have a sense of, hey, I have a lot to lose?
I think most of them have recognized that they have something to lose, especially when we look at the numbers. Out of the 350 something lives that we have lost so far, over 80% of that number are males. So you can see, the children losing fathers,
Yeah.
the wives or the girlfriends losing, their spouse or their boyfriends, mothers losing sons, all of that. And most of them are the breadwinners in the family.
Yeah.
So that's something we have to look at as well.
Yeah. Now, we have heard a great deal about the road patching program, Spark and whatnot,
Yes.
and that is coming on stream very strongly. So that adds a further complication
Yes.
to the road situation.
Yes,
So-
because it means delayed traffic build up in some areas.
Increased
With
frustration.
Increased frustration, impatience.
Yes.
So we ask persons to have patience, because the roads are being fixed for our good. Right? We complain a lot about bad roads, so we're getting what we have been complaining about. Right? So we want to encourage them to be patient. That's first thing.
Yes.
Right? Recognize that the build up is, well, of course, if there is, if you were told that this area is a construction zone, be patient. But even if you were not told, still be patient. Don't go and try to undertake. Right? Also, do not speed.
Yeah.
Because with roadworks, there are going to be a lot of digging up, a lot of open trenches, and a lot of hazards.
Right.
So you want to ensure you don't speed. Cut your speed. Also, you want to ensure that you cut out the distractions, because you have to be alert in these areas. So you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. We have three types of distractions. We have the manual distraction, when your hands are off the wheel.
Okay.
Right? We have the visual distraction, when your eyes are off the road, and then you have the cognitive distraction, when your mind is off the road. So you're thinking about something else. So you have to have your focus on the roadway, because you don't, especially if it's night.
Yeah.
And roadworks may not be complete, but there are still hazards on the road. Ensure your lights are working, your obligatory lights, your headlights, your indicator, just in case you have to change lane because of an open hole or something, or a trench.
Right.
So ensure your indicators are working. And do not tailgate the drivers in the area. Keep
And
a
that's
certain distance.
following too closely.
Following too closely.
Okay.
So keep a certain distance. And as I mentioned with the distraction, put down the phone. Right? Put down the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can wait.
Oh, and another thing to add regarding the construction work.
Sure.
Obey the persons put in place to guide you. So
Yeah.
normally they have like a stop sign or a flag to tell you that you can go now. Don't try to beat the flag. If the person with the flag tells you that it put up the red sign or the stop sign, it means the traffic on the other side is now coming.
Yeah.
So you trying to beat that flag can be a risk there. You can cause a crash. So obey the persons put in place to guide you through the traffic.
Absolutely. We are in the last 10 seconds
Yes.
of this interview, but I want to give you a moment to speak directly to our audience.
Okay. All right. So road users, no matter what category you fall in, it's very important that you obey the road code. Whether you walk, you drive, you ride, the intention is to stay alive so that you can live to see 2025.
That has a ring to it. Stay
Yes.
alive so you can live to see 2025. Thank you, Mr. Dante Matthews, Manager of Corporate Communications and Public Relations at the Island Traffic Authority. And thank you for joining us. This has been Get the Facts. I hope you take what you've heard to heart, and I do hope you have a safe and blessed holiday season. See you next time.
Are you protected? We're speaking about consumers and their access access to information that is not only safe, but it's accurate and it can be trusted. We're talking about data protection, e-commerce, online banking, and online fraud. The question is whether or not you can trust it. You're thinking about identity theft. You're thinking about where your documents are stored and whether or not this can also impact you from a credit perspective. You are to get one free credit report each year. Do not waste that resource. Look at it, see how you can address whatever issues it might be pointing to, whether or not it is true, yea or nay. Ask questions and seek assistance whenever possible. Do not be afraid. Ask the questions. If you are unsure, sometimes we're doing something and we get a little gut feeling and you want to draw back. Do some more investigation to see whether or not this is something that you want to undertake or whether or not it will affect you in a negative light.
The Christmas tree is a staple during the Yuletide season. Next, we learn about the significance of this particular traditional symbol, after which we take a look at the Falmouth Artisan Village's tree lighting ceremony.
This evergreen plant made of pine, spruce, or fir has its history in ancient cultures. Long before the advent of Christianity, people in various cultures used evergreen plants to celebrate winter festivals. Evergreens were seen as symbols of life and resilience because they stayed green throughout the winter. Slowly but surely, Christians in medieval Europe would decorate paradise trees during Christmas plays to symbolize the tree of knowledge in the Garden of Eden. These trees were often adorned with apples representing the fall of man, and eventually the concept began to merge with Christmas celebrations. In 16th century Germany, the earliest known decorated Christmas tree was in the town called Riga. The modern Christmas tree tradition is most commonly attributed to this. Later, the royals started to popularize it before the custom was passed down to regular folks. Initially, trees were decorated with candles, apples, nuts, and sweets. By the 19th century, glass ornaments and tinsel started becoming popular. Electric lights were introduced in the early 20th century, with the first Christmas tree lit with electric lights appearing in 1882, thanks to Thomas Edison's associate, Edward H. Johnson. While still seen as a religious symbol, the Christmas tree, much like anything that has to do with the season, has become heavily commercialized, with excessive decorations and artificial trees in and around homes, offices, and pretty much any establishment once Christmas time comes around. Today, the Christmas tree is a beloved holiday symbol worldwide, representing festivity, family, and tradition. It has evolved from an ancient custom to a widespread practice adapted by various cultures around the world, often blending local customs and modern technology.
One, two, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3. What a beauty. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let her receive the King. Let every heart prepare in room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature. Come on, one more time, sing joy to the world. The Lord has come. Oh, let her receive her King. Let every heart prepare in room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Oh, and heaven and nature sing, 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 and heaven and nature sing. Praise God, hallelujah.
Season's greetings to my fellow Jamaicans. This Christmas, let us celebrate in true Jamaican style and commit to safer roads. Last year, we lost over 480 lives in road accidents. This holiday season, let us do our best to stay below that number. Drive responsibly, slow down, avoid distractions, and never ever drink and drive. Buckle up, especially the children, and always watch out for pedestrians. The holidays are a time for joy, not sorrow. Let's ensure everyone arrives safely. From all of us at the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, have a safe and happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year. God bless you all.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's show. To catch a repeat of this or any other, feel free to log on to our website, jis.gov.jm. Until next time, do have yourselves a wonderful holiday period.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.